We all have something that we're afraid of. I mean, I have a lot of things that I am. And if you don't, well, pretty sure you're not normal. But anyway, the real point of me bringing up fear is that people tend to fear the same things. You're not the only one afraid of that one thing. Because more than likely, it's pretty common. You know, even if it isn't common and more so ridiculous, other people might still be afraid of that same thing. But for this video, the idea is to draw the 10 most common phobias. I should also say that this isn't really in any order, and the sources I use for this video are in the description. So if you are interested, then there you go. So let's just jump right into it. So for the first one, I chose Mysophobia. I'm probably gonna butcher some of these. I should have looked it up beforehand, but whatever. Anyway, this is the excessive fear of germs and dirt. Apparently, it can lead people to engage in extreme cleaning, and it can also result in people avoiding physical contact with other people. I mean, ain't that all of us during the pandemic? So for the drawing, the basic idea was to have someone that is constantly cleaning, but for it to show that person is definitely taking precautions of germs. This one's pretty simple. I never seem to be as detailed with interior designs compared to drawings like of landscapes. Alright, let's just go on to the next one. So for the next one, I actually combined two of them since they both seem very similar, which is social phobia, which I think we all know that one, pretty self-explanatory, and agoraphobia, which is the fear of being alone in a situation where escape is difficult. In this case, it would be a crowded area, and obviously people with social anxiety tend to suck when giving a presentation, let alone being in a place with lots of people. Trust me, I know. Anyway, that was pretty much the idea for this one, and this was the final outcome. I guess it could have put more effort or like add more people, but you know, I'm lazy. I'm trying to speed this up since I have to show you like 8 more doodles, so let's just go on to the next one. Astrophobia is our next one, which is the fear of thunder and lightning. During a thunder or lightning storm, these people may go to great lengths to take shelter or hide in bed under covers. So for this phobia, I pretty much just wanted to draw like the worst case scenario for someone who has this, which is like having someone crash their car in an open field. Somehow, now that I think about it, that doesn't really make much sense, because how would someone crash their car in an open... You know what, let's just gloss over that fact. Anyway, for the most part, the person is okay. Kinda hard to walk for them, and in the distance, they see a thunderstorm. And boom, here we go. We got ourselves something that'll probably scare the crap out of anyone, even if they aren't afraid of lightning or thunder. Alright, for the next one is Trypanophobia, which is the fear of injections. This can sometimes cause people to avoid medical treatment and doctors, and apparently about 20 to 30% of adults have, which I didn't think it would be that common. For this, I drew something like out of a horror movie, which is to have someone tied to a bed, and they see like some doctor with a syringe. As for the final outcome, well, this is pretty much it. I didn't want to use a lot of shadow for this one, since doctors' offices tend to be very bright, but also I think that kind of gets rid of like some extra detail that I think this one needed, but whatever. This next one is also a 2-in-1 doodle, since they're again very similar, and that is acrophobia, which is the fear of heights, and aerophobia, which is the fear of flying. So for this one, I had to experiment with a little little bit of perspective, which I think I did correctly. I don't know, I'll let you all decide. But the point was to have you look down while in a plane at the ground. I guess the next problem I had was how much detail I should put in the background, like the clouds and the fields. But this is how it turned out. As someone who is anxious of heights, I'd say I got the mood pretty accurate. Alright, the next one is cynophobia, which is the fear of dogs. I knew this fear was kinda common, but I wasn't sure why. Apparently it's from specific personal experiences, so for this one I figured what could be like the worst situation for a person like this to be in. I got it. Let's just put someone in an animal shelter, but only with dogs, nothing else. This actually became one of my favorites. I just like, I guess, the composition, even though it's not that complicated. There isn't much else to say about this one, so let's just show some time lapse and move on to the next one. So the next one is Ophidiophobia. I might have butchered that. But this is the fear of snakes. Some suggest that since snakes are sometimes poisonous, our ancestors who avoided such dangers were more likely to survive and pass down their genes. Another theory suggests that animals might arise out in uninherited fear of disease and contamination, which I could kinda see that. Everybody knows you don't mess with anything poisonous. If you do, you're an idiot. The doodle idea for this one is to have someone in a boat and see a massive snake come out of the water looking intimidating. This also turned out pretty good, I guess. The only problem is that the shadows look too red when I think they should be kind of bluish or maybe gray. But other than that, I'd say this one turned out pretty good. Alright, on to the final one, which I think we should all know this one by process of elimination. The last one is arachnophobia, which is the fear of spiders and other arachnids, but let's be real here, it's mostly spiders. Now, while there is roughly 3,500 different spider species, only around a dozen pose any type of real threat. So why are so many people terrified of arachnids? One common explanation is that such creatures posed a threat to our ancestors who lacked the medical know-how and tools to address injuries from animals and insects. As a result, evolution contributed to a predisposition to fear these creatures. And here I was thinking that we were just scared of them because they looked creepy. But anyway, for the doodle, I just created a person in a room, a spider in the foreground. For some reason, I decided to draw this in another room. even though I don't like drawing interior crap, but whatever, not a big deal. I'd say this was good, considering I never know how to fill backgrounds with stuff. But anyway, here's the doodle. Not much else to say about this one. This one's also very simple. And then again, I mean, all of them are pretty simple. I think it really is because of the art style. But also it's because I just wasn't sure how to fill them up. And these are all the doodles. Overall, I like them, despite the little nitpicks I had. Let me know what you think. Actually, no, keep it to yourself. Actually, don't do that. You know what? I'm just gonna end the video because I have nothing else to talk about. Alright, that's all for this video. If you made it to the end, thanks so much. If you like this, you might check out my other crap. Okay, peace.